welcome to Miss Supranational Germany 2022. I am DENISSE NICOLLE, your Miss Supranational Germany 2021, and I will be your host for the SUPRA CHAT with yours truly, DENISSE NICOLLE. SUPRA CHAT with DENISSE NICOLLE is our chance to get to know all the aspirational and inspirational women vying for the Miss Supranational Germany title. And for the 2022 edition, we have 9 official candidates, and we have divided them into 3 groups. In few moments, we're going to get to know the group A, B, and C contestants. Prior to this online event, all the delegates went to Berlin for a photo shoot by Ulrich Brothagen and a video shoot by Ayham Aldin. And I heard that the contestants had so much fun. So let's watch this film. Hello, Group C, our super queens. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, now let's begin with your introduction, starting with Sabrina.
Hello everyone, my name is Sabrina Melina Binder, but everyone just calls me Sabrina most of the time. I'm half German and half Filipina. However, I was born in Germany and I was also raised here. I just recently finished my bachelor studies of business economics, and I'm currently working as a cost engineer in Munich. I have various hobbies, and they range from things like sports, like fitness and Pilates, and to go to cooking and baking at home with my friends. My personal advocacy is to support education for young women, as this always has been a big part of my life. And I can't wait to join this journey. Thank you.
Thank you for your lovely introduction, Sabrina, and it's nice to get to know you. Now it's your turn to introduce yourself. Dima.
Hello, everybody. I am Fahmida Sultana Dima. Friends just call me Dima. Coming originally from the beautiful South Asian country Bangladesh, and I'm living over 4 years in Germany now. I moved here to pursue my career when I was 18. And that led me in studying molecular ecosystem science at the University of Göttingen. Along with my love for science and dancing, which I have been doing since I was 3 years old, the dream of me being a pageant queen followed me here as well. Therefore, Supranational Germany 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dima. What a lovely introduction. Now it's your turn to shine. Eva.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eva Jaskolska. I'm a third semester business student living in Berlin. I'm originally from Poland, and my hobbies include cooking and spending time with my friends. A life experience that I had and I really value is the time when, after high school, when I was 18, I took a break from studying and I spent a gap year in London. That was the first time I felt really independent, and I went there alone without my family. I earned my own living expenses, and I learned what it takes to provide for myself. And I also had lots of fun, and it really shaped my character. Then after that, I moved in Berlin. Like I said, now I study business. This is my first time taking part in a pageant, so I'm really excited, and yeah, I'm just really excited for this journey. Thank you.
It's so nice to get to know you, Eva. And now I'm very much curious about your thoughts and opinions about different topics. So let's begin with our question and answer portion, starting with the second question. And I would like Eva to actually answer this. What is the biggest mistake you have done in your life, and what did you do to make it right?
This is a tricky one because I think if you think about a biggest mistake in life, it's something that you would like to go back to and change, do differently, and that would change your life. But so far, I haven't had this kind of a moment. I'm only 21. So, of course, in my life, I've done some things that maybe weren't the smartest. Maybe I wouldn't do them right now. Maybe I made some not so smart decisions, but looking back, I don't see those things as mistakes. I don't have any regrets, I think. And none of those things have bad consequences. So maybe I was just lucky in life, or I learned to see those things as lessons and I just use them to improve myself. So I guess I never had a big mistake in my life so far.
Thank you for your answer, Eva. And sometimes we also say that mistakes are actually just learning experiences. So for the third question, I would like to ask Sabrina. We usually say that action is more important than words. Is there any scenario where words are more powerful and impactful than actions?
For me, it's hard to compare because words and actions are actually two very different things. However, I believe words can be used to calm a person, to communicate your feelings, and words can bring compassion, and they can also express your feelings. However, if you use actions to show your feelings, it most likely can be in a negative way. So whenever a person feels lost or not so sure about the situation or their feelings, it is much better to talk about it and use words as an inspiration instead of using actions that maybe not helping your goals.
Thank you for your lovely answer, Sabrina. So now for the last question, I would like to ask Dima. Which is more important in a beauty pageant? Because you have also mentioned that you have some experiences already, winning or the experience?
Thank you very much for the beautiful question. Beauty pageant, it actually gives a woman a platform to show how powerful she is. And it also gives her confidence to know some benefits she has, but she wasn't aware of. Therefore, the power she already had inside her, she figures out through beauty pageants. Of course, winning a pageant is a wonderful feeling and it will make you way more confident, but the experience one woman can get through a beauty pageant is way more important than just winning. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your lovely answer, Dima. And now I would like us to continue to round 3. And our group topic would be gender equality. So let's begin again with Dima, please. I'm going to ask you the second question. So, what could men learn from women?
Thank you very much, Denise, again for the wonderful question. I can't start the list, to be honest. women are a wonderful creation of God, but at the same time, men are also created to do some particular jobs in the society. But there are many things that a man could learn from a woman. As an example, women give birth, and at the same time, after giving birth, she shares a lot. She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the child, and there are so many people in a woman's life that she has to share the love with. And at the same time, the society expects from a woman that she is nice to one another and she is calm and quiet. Um, and this is one quality I believe men don't really have. They're stressed out very easily. Of course, there are differences, but the society doesn't really expect a man to be quiet. They can stress out, and then the society would say, "Oh, there's something wrong. That's why he's stressed out." It's okay, but when a woman raise her voice, they're like, "She's a woman. She's not supposed to talk loud." This one quality to have a balance between your feelings and your reactions. This is one thing that men should really learn from women, or at least they could. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer, Dima. And for this round, technically, I want it to be a discussion. And I want to ask Sabrina, do you actually agree with Dima? Or are there other lessons that men could learn from women? What do you think?
I do agree with Dima. However, I do think that there are more aspects to these questions, because I believe oftentimes men tend to think more rationally, whereas women tend to think more creative or from their heart. Also, men tend to use their brain for decisions, whereas women try to use their feelings and their feelings in their gut when they have a decision to be made. So I think what men can learn from women is also what Dima said a little. Listen to your feelings, and just if you feel it is right, then do it. Don't think too much. Go with your heart.
I can agree with you too. Ava, what do you think about their answers?
Of course, I agree with both of them. I would just maybe like to add that Dima was talking about expressing feelings in terms of maybe expressing anger. But I would also like to point out that I think men should learn how to express maybe sadness and show their vulnerable side a bit more. I think that would really help men with their many mental illnesses, for example, that come from them just keeping everything to themselves sometimes, because that's what boys are taught from an early age, just so that they need to be strong men, and they shouldn't cry, for example. I think this is very bad for them. So I think they should learn how to express their emotions and not to be afraid to, for example, to cry in public.
So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And it's really nice to get to know your opinion on this matter. The first question to Eva. Many say that men are better than women. Prove them that they are wrong.
So maybe I would like to start with saying that I think neither is better than the other. If I look at my friends, for example, I have male friends who might be better at online gaming than my female friends, and then I have female friends who get better grades at university, for example, than my male friends. So I guess it all depends on what metrics you want to compare. One example that comes to mind for me, an example of a really powerful woman who achieved a lot, is Maria Curie Skłodowska, better known as Marie Curie. She's one of the only two people who were awarded Nobel Prize twice, even though that around her there were many people who thought she wasn't fit for the role because of her gender. So yeah, she's a great example of a very strong woman who achieved a lot. And yeah, I guess I would just like to add that just because I say that men are not better than women, it doesn't mean that women are better than men, because the idea of valuing one gender or race above the other is very dangerous and ill-informed. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. What do you think about this, Sabrina?
I couldn't agree more. For me, it's also very difficult to think of genders as of boxes. For me, each and every person is unique, no matter their gender or how they identify. So I believe women and men do have their strengths, and there's no gender which is better than any other. And I think there needs to be an equal understanding that every person has individual strengths and individual weaknesses. And like Eva said, there are many women in today's world who are very successful, even in fields that are not very typical for women. But also, on the other hand, there are men that are very creative or something like that, like in a field where you don't expect many men, but they prove they can do anything. So for me, there's no gender which is more powerful than the other.
So Eva and Sabrina are agreeing on the same opinion. What do you think about their opinion, Dima?
Yeah, I have to agree with both of them with closed eyes, to be honest. For me, the society is like a bicycle, as an example, and it has two wheels. A bicycle doesn't function with one wheel without the other. And the two wheels are meant to be men and women. The society wouldn't function with only one gender and keep going on without the other. Therefore, I wouldn't really say that men are better than women or women are better than men. They are equal distributors and contributors to the society, and the society would not function without the other. Thank you.
Beautiful answers. Well done again, ladies. And I'm glad that you were challenging the question itself, because of course, as you could tell at the beginning, it was a bit tricky. And of course, what we would like to promote is gender equality. Now, let's start with the last question, beginning with Sabrina. Have we achieved gender equality? And please give concrete examples.
Thank you very much for this question. I believe in today's society, we see a shift more to gender equality as society in everyday life. By now, women have the same rights as men most of the times. However, in some aspects, women are still disadvantaged. For example, for women, it is harder to be a businesswoman, as sometimes the society tends to think women cannot be as professional as men or not be as good in maths as men, or especially in science. We see a lot of men, but not a lot of women, not because they're not as talented, but because they're told at a very young age, oh, science is not your thing, math is nothing for girls. And sometimes when you hear all these things from an early age on, you tend to shift your career to another path because you think, oh, you're not good enough, you cannot do this. Also, in today's society, we have the problem of gender pay gap. It is still a relevant topic in today's world. Many women are not paid the same as men doing the same position. So even when we see a shift to a more gender equality society today, there's still a lot of things we have to do, and we have to talk about it, because once we talk about the topics, we see a shift to it. We see a movement. And so I believe we're on the right track, but there's still a lot of things to do.
Thank you for your answer, Sabrina, and thank you for raising other issues connected to gender equality. And this time, I would actually like to know what Eva thinks about what Sabrina said.
Yeah, of course, I couldn't agree more. I think Sabrina focused a bit in the Western world, Western Europe, maybe the United States. I think it's also important to remember that gender equality hasn't been achieved in many other countries, outside of the part of the world where we live. And there's still many issues, like, for example, child marriage, or women not being able to get education, or women not being able to drive, and just things that we cannot imagine are even actually happening. But for me personally, what is very important, very close to my heart, is what is happening in my home country, in Poland. So maybe you've heard about the abortion being illegal, even in very extreme cases, like if a woman, for example, was raped, or if the baby will not survive after being born, it's still a woman cannot make that choice. So in this case, just a bunch of male politicians are making choices for us women about what we can do with our own bodies, which I think is awful. But also, what I would like to add, if I can, is that the inequality goes both ways. And I have a little personal example here. When my parents got divorced when I was 13, I decided to stay with my dad just because we got along better. And then every time I met a new person and they found out that I live with my dad, they assumed that my mom either passed away or that she was a really bad parent, which that wasn't the case at all. But yeah, people just always would assume that. And apparently, it's very unusual for fathers to stay with children after a divorce. It's actually an issue because men are less likely to be granted custody rights, just because it is automatically assumed that for a child it's always better to stay with a mom. And I think in many cases it can be very hurtful and very unfair. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer and also sharing your story with us, Eva. What do you think about what has been said, Dima?
Thank you very much. Yes, I absolutely have to agree to both of them. Gender equality is a big topic these days for the society, which is great, which is wonderful, but unfortunately we haven't yet reached the level that should be reached to call both gender equal for the society. I could give you a personal example here as well. My sister, my middle sister, she wants to visit me from my home country. She has a child and she is divorced, but to get the visa, even if she is divorced and has the full custody of the child, she cannot bring the child out of my country without being the father present in the embassy to sign the papers, which is ridiculous because the father has nothing to do with the child anymore. But on the other way around, if the father wanted to take the child out of the country for a visit, my sister didn't need to be there at all. And that is not equality. I come from a third world country. If we look at Europe, Germany more specifically, when you are going for a job, even if a man and a woman has the same qualification, while getting the job, the man gets it because the job giver thinks, oh, it's a young woman, she is going to get pregnant, and therefore my job will be empty again. So I would rather prefer the men over the women, even though giving birth is a wonderful thing and the women need supports during this situation of her life. And everybody came to the world because of women gave birth. So there's nothing negative about it, and this should not be a reason why a man gets the job over a woman. And also, at the same case, the payroll which Sabrina mentioned, I have to agree to it totally. Doing the same amount of job, a woman is being way less paid than a man, because the society somewhat tends to think the women are not doing the same amount of job as the men do, which is not true. Therefore, even though it is very positive that gender equality is a big topic in this recent world in modern society, but it is very unfortunate to say that the gender equality we have not achieved yet. But I do have big hopes someday we will get there.
Thank you for your answer, Dima. And I do agree with the points you have brought up. There has been some development towards the inequality issues towards gender. But of course, as we all said, there are so many things to be done. And hopefully soon they're going to be eradicated. Now, I have a personal questions that I would like to ask all of you. Or maybe a scenario that I would like you to think of. So imagine your close friend, very close friend, is a person who does not believe that men are not equal to women. How would you approach the situation if this friend brings up that, oh, no, we're better? Regardless of the gender of the person, may it be a woman or may it be a man, this person just thinks that the other gender is superior than the other. What would you do? What would be your approach?
I could start. I would ask the person why she believes, or why he or she believes this, because I want to understand what is behind it that she's saying. Because there must be a reason or a scenario or something like that, like an experience that is like showing them one gender is more powerful than the other. And then I would like to understand what in this situation could make her or she think this could be true. And then I would try to explain that maybe this was just a one-time experience, maybe this was just a personal experience, but this is not an overall thing to say.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Sabrina. How about the others? What would you do?
I would say the same with Sabrina, because every person is different, and when somebody has an opinion, there must be a reason behind it. You just don't come out and say something so strong. You don't have a strong opinion unless you have an experience behind it. Therefore, when a very close friend of mine has such a strong statement, I would like to ask her or him why they think like that, and I would like to understand the reason behind it. And according to that, without hurting their feelings, I would try to explain that this was maybe just a personal experience, and there is more to that, and he or she should check the rest of the world. And then I would might also explain the bicycle theory, that nobody is better than the other, they're all equal.
Thank you for your answer, Dima. And what do you think about it, Ava? Would you have done the same approach?
Yes, for sure. I was a bit confused at first when I heard the question. My first thought was that it's very unlikely that I would be friends with a person like that, with these kind of opinions. But yes, of course, I agree with the girls. First, I would like to understand where they're even coming from, because this is a very unusual, opinion to have. So I would like to understand where they're coming from and where they learned that kind of thing. Maybe they had some traumatizing experience. Maybe they were taught this by someone. And then I would try to have a logical, rational conversation, try to prove them wrong somehow. If it works, then great. If it doesn't, then I don't think I would be friends with someone like that anymore, to be honest.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I was actually intrigued to know if you would still stay friends with someone who thinks so. This time, I would actually like to give you the time to be able to think and also invite all your family, friends, and supporters to watch you on our live show, and also to follow your journey towards the end. It is your time, Dima.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. And I cannot really ever thank the supporters enough who have supported me so far. All my friends who has reposted my photos, and the friends and family from far, far away from another country who has been there with me and always supported me morally, mentally, and also with everything they could, even being so far away. My heartiest love to you. And of course, I would heartily invite you to follow my journey for Miss Supranational. It would be such an honor and pleasure to have you all around, and stay with me the way you are there. You guys make my heart go boom boom.
Thank you, Dima. Eva, it is time for you to say your message to your family and friends, and also supporters, and also invite them to your finals.
Yes, my message will be very short. First of all, thank you very much for watching this video, to anyone watching. And I would encourage you to keep following our content. And just very quickly, I would like to say a big thank you to my very supportive parents, my amazing dad, my amazing boyfriend who always supports me, and all my friends and all my supporters. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your message, Eva. And now, Sabrina, it is your time.
First of all, thanks to everyone watching this video. It was a pleasure talking with you, even if it's virtually. And I would like to thank all my family and friends for all their kind support, all the messages I got. I hear them everything. Really, it's so nice to have you all by my side. It really means a lot to me. And of course, I would love to invite you to watch my journey and watch the girls with me at the finals of Miss Supranational Germany. And I cannot wait to see more of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your message, Sabrina. And again, I would like to thank you for your time as well, ladies. And also to our viewers, thank you so much for watching the third episode of the Supra Chat with Denisse Nicole. Ladies, queens, can we wave them goodbye?
Yes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.